We got Coach Feldhaus, the new McNeese women's basketball coach, Ashton Feldhaus, joining us. Coach, how you doing?
I'm good. I haven't slept in like a week, so I'm living on. I will say the one thing they have unlimited of these in our fridge, so that's what I'm living on, iced coffee.
You have to love that. Well, I guess that runs right into my first. How is the last couple of weeks been? Obviously, no sleep. It's been a little chaotic. How's the last couple of weeks been for you?
I wouldn't say it's like atypical. I think every coach in the country feels this right now. We're all doing the same things. We're all filling so many spots on our roster. So we have just been portaling, recruiting, visiting. It's like the ultimate rat race right now. So it's been great though. I mean, the people here have been phenomenal. We're having a blast. I will tell you that. Eventually, it will catch up to me that I haven't had sleep, but right now, I'm still living on like excitement.
All right, let's dive into the job. So it's obviously been a wild couple of weeks. You finish a great year at Morehead State. Um, what kind of attracted you, I guess, to McNeese? When did you know that you might want to think about taking the McNeese job? And did you know about McNeese? I guess.
Yeah, I did. So Ayla and I have the same agent. He's fantastic. And after kind of my year at Morehead, I mean, Morehead is not a place that is supposed to win. It's not set up to win. So my agent was really good. And I told him, I was like, I love it here. Like the people were really good to me. It would have to be kind of the perfect fit for me to leave after a year. Because that's not, I mean, shockingly, it's not something I want to do is pack boxes and uproot my life every year. But I got a text I was actually playing pickleball. It was late at night. We were at like I don't even know, it was this outdoor court with my assistants. And I get a text from my agent. He's like, hey, you need to start wrapping your mind around this place. And we have actually talked about this job. We were talking about some of the best mid-major jobs in the country. And my agent goes, this place has it going on. So McNeese had been on my radar for a while. I actually played at UT Martin when Heath Schroyer was the coach at UT Martin. So I had known about it because I'd follow his success. But when Ayla started having those conversations with Georgia and that looked like it was going to go through, my agent got me on the phone and he was like, look, this is a no-brainer for you. And I trust him implicitly. So it happened really fast. It was like Ayla was gone and I was here 24 hours later and named the head coach. But that's like the nature of the business. So really, really fortunate. And I was even more like, I think, impressed when I got here and saw it all. I mean, this place is one of the top, I would say one of the top places in the country. So yeah, I love it.
Well, for folks who haven't been or seen Morehead, it's a little bit different, and that's not a slight to Morehead, but it's a little bit different at McNeese. What was it when you got here, saw the facilities, and you kind of alluded to it, but it's a little bit of an upgrade.
Yeah, no, it's a huge upgrade, and Morehead State knows that. I mean, it's super small town, really small actually. I won't even tell you how many people are in the city, but all that's there is Morehead State. But this is way different. This has investment, and Lake Charles is a beautiful area. I didn't know that, to be honest. I knew McNeese had really invested in athletics, and you can see that everywhere you are on campus, and then especially our sport facilities. But then Lake Charles, like that was such a pleasant surprise for me. I was like, oh, this place is awesome. So, and it's in such a prime location, I think. So we're so close to Texas. We've got tons of recruiting we can do, especially in the state, and then Texas is huge. So, and we're right here. So all the opportunity, I think, at McNeese is really what was so impressive.
All right, I need you to tell this story. I heard you say it one time. You were talking about the city of Lake Charles, comparing it to where you were.
Yeah.
You drive in with your assistants, and your assistants say, "Hey, they have a Chick-fil-A. Hey, they have a TJ Maxx." I got to get a little more into this.
Yeah, so we were 14 hours in the car on the way down here. I'm driving. I drove all 14 hours. I don't even know how many recruit calls we did that day. So I've got recruits up here in like one of those stands and we're on FaceTime. So we're on hour 14. Like we're pulling in, it's like 10 o'clock at night. And they were asking me, like, what's it like? And I was like, guys, I don't know. I was only there for 24 hours. Like, it just has way more than Morehead. Trust me on that. So we're pulling in, or like on the interstate. I don't even know where we were. And my one assistant, Dom, she starts shouting. She's like, oh my gosh, they have a Chick-fil-A. This is perfect. And then we get to like the Target. And then there's the Best Buy. I mean, these are things we haven't had in a year. So Raising Cane's, like it could have been anything. And she just kept shouting. And finally I was like, Dom, they have everything. Like I get it. So this to us is like Miami. We're in like big city right now. So yeah, it's perfect.
It's Miami without the blue water, I guess.
Yeah, there
Now,
you go. There you go.
so I did find out that you've tried crawfish. You weren't the best at peeling it. How was that experience?
It was awesome. And the very next night, we went to another place to practice it. I was like, if we're going to live here, we got to get good at this. So my assistants and I, we finished, I don't know, we left work pretty late. So we went to some place that was open that had them. And we ordered like the biggest thing they had. And I was like, all right, here we go. So I actually think I'm better now. I'm better now. But it was awesome.
Just think before long you'll be sucking the heads
Yep.
and doing the
We made the
claws and all that.
cardinal. My assistant Maddie made the cardinal stand up. She wore a white t-shirt. So I was like, we learned the hard way. I was like, that's a rookie mistake. So we'll never do that again.
We listen, we learn, and we don't judge. That's what we'll go
Exactly.
with.
Exactly.
All right, let's talk about a little bit more of the process and about you. Obviously, Bridget Martin makes the official hire. Her first hire, a week and a half on the job. Obviously, a little bit of assistance with Heath Schroyer, the connection there. Talk to us about that process with Heath, but with Bridget as well.
Yeah, I think Miss Bridget was she was thorough, and she was thorough because she did her research about me, and she had questions for me just the same. So it was impressive to me. You know, sometimes people just hire because his so and so has this person. They make Miss Bridget was thorough. She made sure that like I understood the ins and outs of this place. I mean, she's dedicated virtually her whole life to McNeese and McNeese athletics in particular. So she wants to make sure the people coming in understand how big of a deal it is. And she walked me through kind of the entire process of like, hey, a few years ago we weren't in the best spot. Heath came in, there's this big adjustment, and now like we're talking about the momentum. She talked in depth about so many people here who are just pivotal to what we're doing. And she asked some pretty poignant questions, which I thought was awesome. So how much she loved and cared for it, like I work my tail off every day regardless, but knowing I'm working for Miss Bridget, I think just makes it 10 times easier. And I was fortunate. I came from Morehead State where same thing. The man I worked for had dedicated his whole life to Morehead State. So it's so much easier when you have people who are above you, but that genuinely care about your success. And that's kind of what I've got. So, yeah, she was fantastic. She told me the ins and outs, and she was like, hey, here's the things we think we can get to. And I love it because I'll go to her with questions and it's never a no. It's, yeah, let's get there. Here's how we can do it. Let's work together. And when you have someone who's just in the trenches with you every day with that mentality, that's why this place is succeeding.
Just 30 years old, you're now the your third head coaching stop, another Division One program. How have you been able to kind of escalate your path so quickly?
Uh, I don't, I feel really fortunate. Like, I have so much gratitude. But I will say this, I work my tail off. Like, it's not happenstance. I feel really fortunate. I grew up in a basketball household. So the X's and O's and like hard work I was used to because my parents taught school all day and then they went to practice. So I watched them just grind my entire life. Knew I didn't want to be a teacher. So college coaching was the way I went. And the best thing I ever decided to do was not be a GA because I got my master's paid for when I played. Didn't want to be a GA, not a Dobo. I went to the Division two level and was the sole assistant for my boss for 5 years. It's the best decision I ever made because talk about being thrown to the fire. I'd never coached before. I was virtually the same age as the players at the time. I'm recruiting, I'm scheduling, I'm on the floor coaching. So I always tell players or coaches that reach out to me and say, hey, I want to get in this profession. I tell them, go work at a Division two school, a JUCO, someplace that doesn't have resources. Because when you get to a place like this, it would have been tough to start at this and then go someplace else. Like I started having nothing and having to do it all. And I think that's part of the reason I've been so successful. And then I always say this, I love to learn. I'm like a huge nerd when it comes to basketball. So like I love picking people's brain. Like Ayla, I already told her, I'm like, we've got to get on a call. I called Marshall's coach yesterday. They'd won the WNIT. Like, I'm always trying to learn new things, especially people who are successful in this profession. Like, it's really cool when I'm standing on the sideline and I'm looking over and there's Kenny Brooks. And he's calling me, telling me congratulations, and I get to run things by him. Like, there's just really cool. The whole profession is neat, so I'm grateful for it, but I also work at it and make sure that I'm never like satisfied or complacent.
I know you've mentioned your parents obviously a couple of times. Who's been kind of been the biggest influences on your career?
Yeah, it's my mom and dad for sure. They're supportive, but they also understand how much work it takes. And I think that for me, like that's just ingrained. And it's not just in me. My sisters have the same thing. Like we just work. And then my very first job, I was only an assistant coach at one place. I was at Eckerd College before I got hired at Missouri Western. And that boss, like when I tell you he taught me everything, and he was really intentional about the way he taught me. And I asked a lot of questions. So in those 5 years, as you can imagine, we got really, really close, and I talked to him weekly, and we talk about. I still learn things from him. So I think for him in my professional life, he has and his the assistant he had. He's only had two assistants his entire career, and the assistant before me, she's now the head coach at Chattanooga. Won another conference title. I think she back to back. So his coaching tree, although little, is really successful. So that man, he knows what he's doing.
It's not only your parents; you also have ties to other legendary coaches, Rick Pitino,
Yeah.
Adolph Rupp.
Yep.
Talk to us about those guys for us.
Yeah, so my grandfather played for Adolph Rupp at Kentucky. He played back in the era where you could do a couple things at once. So he played baseball too, and then he went
Wow.
on to play professional baseball. And then my uncle Darren, he's an unforgettable at Kentucky. That Jersey's retired. He was the one that was supposed to be guarding Christian Laettner when he hit the shot. So we tried to leave that out. But yeah, he played for Rick Pitino back when Rick Pitino was the real Rick Pitino. Times have changed a little bit now, but just that toughness piece. So, and he still talks to him every day. His son, actually, my cousin, just signed at University of South Florida. So, basketball just kind of like runs in our blood. But yeah, when you have stories like that and people like that in your life, you have no choice but for it to just be ingrained in you.
Always respect the Godfather. All right, you've already announced a couple of returners: Jazz, Carly Hamilton, Avery Berry.
Yep.
How crucial was it for you to come in here and re-recruit those players that have already been in this program?
It's the first thing I did when I got the job. I went right to those guys because, and I had done my research before I got here. I mean, I stayed up all night the night before I got here because that's how quickly it happened, and really like did a deep dive into the roster. And they had a ton of seniors, and obviously I had spoken with Ayla. She told me who she was going to take with her, but it was crucial because although it's new for them, it's nice to have some familiarity for not just a fan perspective, but for me too. Carly's been great. Carly's been up here every day. We're doing these official visits. We're asking Carly, hey, where can we go? We're going to see Carly's apartment. So to have those guys be just as invested as they are that early, we built relationships with them from day one. And they're excited too, because I think they see themselves as a really crucial part of what's going on. But I did all the things. I talked to their families. We had to just recruit them like we would any other player. And for them to decide to come back for us was just huge. It was huge. And I tell them that every day, like, so grateful. And I'm excited for them because they will be a big part of what we're doing.
You mentioned in your opening media availability, your opening press conference about, how you think that your ability as a young person to adapt to this new era of college athletics and the transport portal, how that helps you, because it's as everybody always says, it's better to be proactive than reactive. How do you kind of attack the portal? How do you view the portal?
I love it. It's been really my lifeline in recruiting, especially since I've been a new head coach at a different stop the past 3 years. Like, it's not like I'm keeping I'm not getting a roster that stays the same each year. So I've had to kind of go right to the portal every time I've moved. And I think having it's going to be key next year. I'd like to keep the bulk of the roster so I'm not having to do that. But I love it because there's so much opportunity on the portal. I mean, I don't know, there's over 2,000 players on there. So if you can't find your people in that, I don't know if you can do it. So, and my assistants are fantastic too. Like, curveballs get thrown at you every day in recruiting. So we think it's kind of fun. Like, we have a visit scheduled, and then rug pulls out from under us. We schedule another one in 24 hours and we're moving. Like, we just are kind of resilient because if you sit too long and sulk about it, things are just moving around you. So we try to be at the forefront of all of that. And it does require no sleep, to be honest, because that's how quickly it moves. But I think we're kind of built for it. Our generation is kind of built for it. So I love it. And it'll be nice when I have a year where I'm not having to go get a full roster. But right now, there's so much opportunity out there that we're having a blast.
For people who don't know, I mean, everybody obviously views the portal as, oh, it's, these players getting in after 1 year, they're going to chase a bag, so on and so forth. But it's not all about that. From your perspective, what is the portal, and what do people may not know about the portal that they probably should?
Yeah, I think there's you do get, I mean, I've talked to a few kids that have been to 4 schools in 4 years, so you do get some of those that are just like, okay, they're never going to be satisfied. But then you get really unique scenarios. You get a lot of coach just didn't want to keep me. You get some of that because this is a business and coaches are just rolling over their roster. So I wouldn't blame it all on the kids. And then you get, finally, as they get a little older, they realize that fit is important. They chose a place the first time for probably not the best reasons, and they are looking for a better fit. And those are the ones we really try to tap into, that have had some success, or haven't because it's not the right fit, but have their head screwed on right, and they're looking for something a little different. And those are the players we really are interested in. So I think it's a great thing because it allows everybody to do what they want. Coaches can go get who they want. Players can go find their spot. So for us, I don't think it's a red flag when players are on the portal. People are always like, well, you're on the portal for a reason. But all the reasons are not bad. And you get unique scenarios, want to be closer to home. People don't realize there's so much going on in these kids' lives that it's hard to make the right decision at age 17 and 18. It really is. I mean, I transferred. So as they get older, they start to realize what's really important to them, where they need to be. And usually your better ones, they'll figure it out. And that's kind of what we're looking for.
It also feels like there's a little bit of a difference in the men's portal and also the women's portal. You probably feel like there's a little more of that going to
Yes.
pay to play, chase a bag on the men's
Yeah,
side.
yes. Yeah, I think the money is just so different on the men's side. And we feel it here on the women's side too. But when we hear the amounts, you can like triple it or quadruple it for the men's team. So I feel they're paying just the same. But money is still involved on this side, and we're playing that game as well. But I always say if it's their first question, they're not for us. They're not for us at all. We want players that want to be here. The money just is a bonus. And don't get me wrong, we play the game like everyone else, but it's not the main thing we recruit with.
All right, just a couple more. I'm sure you're tired of hearing this one, but what style of basketball can fans expect? I know you guys want to get up, run, and shoot some threes, but what can fans expect from a Ashton Feldhaus team?
Yeah, we're going to be tough as nails. Like, that's our thing, just toughness. This year, like, I had one of the least talented teams in the OVC, and our players would tell you that. But the way we play and the style we play and how much we play together, like, we are a selfless team. And when you have skilled players and are like that, you become dangerous. So, yeah, we shoot a ton of threes. We're not really that mid-range team. We get out and run, and we jack it. I think even this year, I didn't have the best shooting team, but we were in like the top 30 or 40 or something in three-pointers made, and top 25 in three-pointers attempted. So, like, that's our thing. And we're going to do it. And the numbers make sense. There's all sorts of math behind it. Carl Smesko is like a genius who was at Florida Gulf Coast, and I learned a ton from him because I hired one of his former players with me. So we play that Fairfield style where it's pretty 4 out, 5 out, pretty guard heavy, but we play at a pace and it's fun. And now I've got some athletes, so we're going to get up and probably pressure some people. So I think it's a fun style for women's basketball. But it's stressful from a coaching standpoint because of how much freedom we give them. So we teach so much at the beginning, but then when they get out there, it's going to be fun. So I'm excited.
I'll tell you this, and I think you talked to Coach Gazzardo a lot. I think she would tell you the same thing. The previous team
Yeah.
didn't shoot it very well inside of that building. I think
Yeah.
that would probably be your first point there.
Yeah, it was one of the first things she said to me. She was like, "Hey, here's kind of what's left on the roster. Here's who you should really aim to keep." And then she was like, "Are you going to bring some of your shooters with you?" I was like, "Yeah, we got it." She's like, "Okay, good. We need those." So she was pretty good about it.
Finally, before we get out of here, to get you that was an easy one. What should people know about you? We've obviously found out that you shoot out like crawfish. We have found out you like pickleball. What should people know about Ashton Feldhaus beyond basketball? Put basketball aside. What is the person?
I'm really laid back. And if the only time you see me is in the gym or in a game, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, because I am fiery and it's pretty wild. Like I love what I do and I'm into it. But other than that, and I think this is the part that the players get to know. We're laid back and we love to have a good time. Like I really do believe that. Like if you're not having fun, you're genuinely doing it wrong. So outside of the lines, especially with our players and with our staff, really laid back, really easygoing, love to laugh. Like just I like genuinely I love life. Like I wake up every morning and I'm like, oh, this is awesome. So I really do feel that gratitude. Like that's not a facade. I feel it every day and I love it, and I kind of carry that with me. But if the only thing you're going to do is come to a game, just understand that that's not who I am outside the lines, because it's intense and it's wild. But yeah, I just love what I do, and I love being around great people, and I think that genuinely is kind of what makes me who I am.
New McNeese women's basketball coach Ashton Feldhaus. Coach, thanks so much for taking the time. Best of luck and enjoy Southwest Louisiana.
Thank you, Justin. I appreciate it.